In today's newscast, we look at how a third year of drought will impact farm equipment sales in California, the outlook for Canadian ag equipment sales, compact tractor sales surpassed the 100,000 unit mark again, Salford expands its Iowa facility, and a number of dealers on the move. I'm Kim Schmidt, Managing Editor. Welcome to On the Record. Farmers in California can expect to receive only 5% of their normal water allocations in 2014, a record low. And without significant precipitation, that could be lowered to 0%, according to the California Department of Water Resources. Monty Bottens, a farmer and former Case IH dealer in California, says there are three main causes for the current water crisis: lack of precipitation, conveyance issues, and environmental factors like preserving certain ecosystems. The lack of precipitation means groundwater isn't being recharged and the surface water supply is limited. The majority of California's surface water is supplied from the snowmelt in the mountains. Currently, the reservoirs are only about 30% full. According to the California Department of Water Resources, snowpack throughout the Sierra Nevada was just 17% of normal on January 16. And precipitation in California's San Joaquin Valley was at just 18% of the average precipitation for this time of year. Areas of the valley who have never been concerned about the lack of water may have problems this year. The lack of water is a major concern for dairies, which are high water users per acre to grow forage crops to feed the cows. Bottens has gone through a drought like this before and says equipment is an optional purchase for farmers and sales are likely to suffer.
Well, lack of water isn't going to cause people to run out and buy new stuff, that's for sure. I went through this at Fireball Equipment during one of the west side water crises three times ago, so this is an ongoing issue. And machinery that just didn't need to be traded, they don't. And you know, seed is not an optional purchase on row crops. Water is an optional purchase, and normally fertilizers, pesticides, all those things you have to purchase. But you can make a tractor normally run another year. You can make a harvester run another year, and you might have to spend some repairs on them, but capital investments on expensive equipment is likely not going to happen if you don't know if you've got a crop to grow in the future. It creates a tremendous amount of uncertainty. Plays havoc with both new sales and used equipment sales.
Two dealers we reached out to, Clayton Camp of Kern Machinery and John Miller of Valley Truck and Tractor, estimate sales will fall 10 to 25%. While there are still a few months left in California's rainy season, the National Weather Service's 90-day forecast for California suggests drier than normal conditions for February, March, and April. While the general consensus for U.S. ag equipment this year calls for a drop-off in unit sales, at least one analyst sees a strong demand in Canada through at least the first half of 2014. In his January 13 report to investors, Ben Ternovsky, machinery analyst for Raymond James, who follows service equipment and Rocky Mountain dealerships, said, buoyed by some extremely favorable weather, Western Canada reported a once-in-a-generation bumper crop in 2013. Canola yields were particularly strong, up 16% over 2012. Although this increase in supply put pressure on prices, overall farm incomes were very strong, he said, and added that while last year's numbers are going to be very tough to beat, farmers are feeling flush from the 2013 windfalls. He believes demand for related machinery should remain strong for at least the first half of 2014. According to Ternovsky, this favors the revenue outlook for both the John Deere Dealer Group service equipment and Rocky Mountain dealerships, which primarily handles Case IH machinery. In 2013, compact tractor sales climbed to over 100,000 units for the first time since 2007. Since the valley of 79,658 units in 2009, sales have grown 20.9%. Sales have slowly been picking up the pace since 2010. The 8.3% year-over-year growth seen in 2013, supports Rural Lifestyle Dealer Magazine's Business Trends and Outlook report, which found that 80% of dealers expect sales to be as good or better than last year. Salford Group announced earlier this week it has expanded its Osceola, Iowa facility by 36% to keep up with the growing demand for its tillage and fertilizer application equipment. This expansion is the latest in a series of capital investments made by the group, which was bought by private equity firm GenNext 360 Capital Partners in November 2013. The expansion will allow for increased production of the Independent Series tools. The Iowa facility handles the majority of production for this series, according to Anson Boak, marketing manager for Salford. In addition, the parts distribution center has doubled in size and will be able to handle an increased capacity, Boak said. Phase 2 of the expansion will further increase production capacity and improve parts availability, and is expected to be completed later this year. Farm equipment dealer consolidation are continuing at a rapid pace. We've received news over the last few weeks about a number of dealers on the move. George Russell, a consultant with Curry Management, says big dealers see the benefits of consolidation and thus look for opportunities. And other big dealers see the benefit as well. As a result, the process of negotiation and integration is much shorter. Russell says, big dealers are preparing for a downturn, and many aggressive ones realize there are opportunities. I expect there will be more in the near future. He says this consolidation is clearly a trend, and Deere consolidations are predominant because they have the most big dealers. But other brands like Case IH and AGCO will follow. If you have any suggestions on stories you'd like to see covered, send me an email at kschmidt@lespub.com. Finally, to ensure you receive future episodes, go to www.farmequipment.com/ff/ontherecord. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.